Hi, John Dwyer here for another Facebook Live, another gripping, exciting, action-packed Facebook Live. I do these of a Wednesday. We'd been doing them at lunchtime, but we're considering possibly doing them in the evening because we had quite a bit of feedback saying, "Oh, JD, look, I can't watch it at lunchtime because I'm so busy and so important." Not me, but them. This is the feedback. So we thought we might do it of an evening, and then I thought, hang on. Why don't we just repost the lunchtime one of an evening? See, that's why I get paid the big bucks. I'm so smart. So therefore, we might continue to do these at lunchtime on a Wednesday, but then just repeat them at 6 or 7 of an evening. So watch out for that. All you need to do is go to my Institute of Wow Facebook page, of course, and you'll see them all recorded anyway. What am I going to rant about today? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to rant about today, and that is people who concentrate their marketing on features and not benefits. And the reason I bring this up is because I've had a few client meetings throughout the week, and the epiphany, thankfully, that these clients have had is that they should be concentrating on benefits, not features. And one such client happened to be in the solar power game, and they're the people who put the solar panels on roofs of houses and so forth, and not the first solar panel company I've had on board. And I was having a meeting with them and just explained to them that it's not exactly beautifying the home when you put these things on your roof. And I know that it's well worth it because of the cost savings that you make. But really, at the end of the day, any web pages or any Facebook advertising or any brochure advertising, letterboxes, anything like that, should really concentrate on the benefits. And what are the benefits of having solar panels on your roof? Of course, you save a bucket load of money on electricity bills. And so therefore, my view would be that the advertisements on Facebook and certainly your webpage and so forth should have Bill and Betty Bankstown, holding hands outside the house, and maybe if they've got children, the children might be around. And the quote would say, above the house that might be in the background, we saved $4,800 per year on our power bills. And we did that because we went to XYZ Solar. And that's the big headline. That's the benefit. And I see it over and over again in various other industries, people concentrating on the features. You don't want to concentrate on the features. If features were to sell, then Jenny Craig Weight Loss Clinic would probably have a graphic of a bowl of rice in all of their advertising, okay? But they don't. They have the before and after images of particularly women mainly. They tend to be more, attracted to weight loss programs than men. And as it turns out, most of the before and afters are ladies. And so therefore, if I was in the weight loss game and you were targeting ladies, then you would show before and afters. It's not the features, it's the benefits. And of course, you go onto Jenny Craig or any one of those sort of weight loss programs, there's a certain diet that you need to stick to. And I'm not saying that shouldn't come up in the advertising, but certainly it wouldn't be the first and foremost message. The first and foremost message would be the before and after photograph of someone who's been on the program, and that they've done that, they've lost all that weight within whatever it is, 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So ask yourself, if you're the owner of a business, have you been falling into the trap of marketing your products or services on features, not benefits? The other thing that I have to say to you that I find a lot of people don't use in their advertising, and particularly these days in Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube, you're crazy if you don't use it, and that is video testimonials. I would say that probably 70% of people who come onto my private coaching program have not got video testimonials on their website. Crazy stuff. You see, the thing is that if I said to you, you ought to watch the latest Batman movie, and then someone else says you should watch the latest Batman movie, and then tomorrow you go to work and someone says, "Oh, have you seen the latest Batman movie?" There's every chance in the world that social proof of that movie being, pretty popular will probably incentivize you to go and watch the movie. But if you don't see, proof of that, then you might sit on the fence for a while before you go and see the Batman movie. So my view is the very best, most powerful form of social proof is video. And it's the fastest growing component online these days. It's 10 times, depending upon who you want to listen to, but most of the experts out there will tell you that it's 10 times more powerful than text. So why would you bore people shitless by just having a whole range of text, or even for that matter, text testimonials? In fact, these days, you can just put your iPhone in front of someone when you've just delivered a fantastic product or service, and they're quite happy to rant about you or rave about you. I shouldn't say rant, rave about you. I'm the ranter. They rave. On my website, I think I've got dozens and dozens of video testimonials, and they're there because I understand the value of a video testimonial. We're in the business of helping people get more clients, and so therefore, when you're in the coaching game that I'm in, and you are doing podcasts and webinars and seminars, there's a pretty healthy level of skepticism out there because people have been to seminars and have been ripped off, and so I've got to combat that. I've come from the corporate world. I haven't come from the seminar world, so I've come from providing my advice and services to the likes of News Limited and Fairfax and Channel 9 and the NRL Rugby League people. We've got people like Disney and Warner Brothers, Blockbuster when video stores were around, 7-Eleven, a lot of these big companies, okay? And when you are providing advice to those big companies, you can't be a one-trick pony, and you certainly can't be a fly-by-nighter. So I think I've got a lot of credibility behind me in terms of, I guess the content that I've got. But nonetheless, I do realise that because I do speak at seminars these days and I do webinars and podcasts and this Facebook Live, then really what I need to do is to, squash any skepticism, is to demonstrate my stuff works. And the best way to do that is to feature throughout my website and throughout all of my communications, video testimonials. And they are very powerful because it's very difficult to get someone to fake a video testimonial. I can get this pen and this bit of paper, and I can write here testimonial and get someone else to sign it if I really wanted to, and it's pretty easy. But to get someone to actually speak down the barrel of a camera and come up with some fake platitudes about you, that's not easy to do. Okay, and the more you get, the better. So if you don't have video testimonials on your website, do yourself a favour. Get them on your website. By the way, all of this stuff falls under the banner of a marketing plan. Do you have a marketing plan? And if you don't have a marketing plan, guess what I've got for you? I've got this little book here, which is about the size of a tabloid newspaper, and it's called the Wow Manifesto. And in this little tiny book, there is a program. It's called the Client Attraction Program. It's how to put together a marketing plan. And as you can see, it's a pretty big dossier. And what I've done, because we can't post this out to everyone, is that I've just put together an online version of this, which is crazy in terms of the investment that you need to make. I think it's something like $197 to get underway with it. And you will get access to how to put together a marketing plan. All you need to do is to go to wowmanifesto.com. I'm sorry, this is a blatant plug. And you thought I was doing this because I loved you. Just get one of these out and write down wowmanifesto.com. And not now, but after I'm finished here, you might like to go and visit that particular webpage. There's a 21-minute video on there whereby you can just see how to put together a marketing plan. And the 21-minute video essentially has all of the components in this big dossier, okay? But you've got the online version of that. So if you wanted to know how to put together a marketing plan and how to use video testimonials, how to create a wow factor to take people's eyes off the price, how to identify your most profitable customers so that you can look for more people who look like them, how to create free publicity, and in this day and age, it's so easy to do if you join the dots, how to hold events, how to run webinars, podcasts, how to do Facebook Lives, all of this stuff that is part of my world, then all you need to do is, I think we've got the link above here as well, by the way. So it's wowmanifesto.com. So just go to wowmanifesto.com. There's a 21-minute, easy to watch, he says very boastfully, easy to watch video, and you'll see how to put together a marketing plan. Because if you don't have a marketing plan, I don't know how you're in business. I got no idea. It'd be like driving in the dark without your headlights on. And yet, I'd say that probably 8 or 9 out of every 10 people who come into my world when they are thinking about joining my private coaching program, guess what? They don't have a marketing plan. And they've grown their business to a certain level through, I don't know, good luck or just, referrals or just organic growth. But they haven't ever had a marketing plan. They might have thrown $100 here and $100 there at Facebook or Instagram, or they may put out a letterbox brochure or send out a direct mail letter from time to time, and they got a few calls and made a few sales, but they don't have a structured marketing plan. Can you imagine the value of having a predictable marketing plan, not only for when you own the business, but can you imagine when you sell the business? Imagine if you said to whoever was going to buy your business, oh, guess what? I've got here in this particular dossier a predictable marketing plan. And the buyer of your business says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, every time I put $1 into Facebook, I get $3 back. Every time I put $1 into Instagram, I get $4.20 back. Every time I actually put an advertising campaign out through YouTube, for every dollar I spend, I get $2.90, and so on and so forth. Can you imagine if you had that documented? Crazy stuff, I know, but people, when they're selling their business, forget that one of the biggest assets they've got is their client attraction formula. And they just don't sell that within the business. They sell the business based on its net profit, so they get their 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times multiple, but they don't think, well, hang on, what else can I sell? I know what else you can sell. Firstly, your database. So start collecting one if you're not. And secondly, a predictable marketing plan. Can you just imagine the value of having a predictable marketing plan? And although my trigger word, database, was not meant to be a topic, if you like, of this Facebook Live, damn it, I gave myself a trigger word. I mentioned the evil term database. I've got to go on about it. It would not be a JD lunchtime rant without me talking about databases. Do you know that McDonald's are a pretty savvy marketer? I think we'd all agree. But you know that they've got reportedly 1.7 million people going through their McDonald's restaurants in Australia today, and they don't know who one of them is. You think about it. Have you ever been into McDonald's, and have they ever gone out of their way to collect your data? No. Can you imagine 1.7 million people slipping through your fingers every single day? I would just jump off a cliff. That could not happen. But you know what? You can walk into just about any restaurant in Australia, or make it the world, any restaurant in the world today, and I'll bet you 99% of them will not ask for your details. They'll let you spend $100 or $200 or $500, depending upon how many's in your table, and they will never ask your details. It's nuts. But guess what? You can walk into any supermarket chain, you can walk into Bunnings hardware store, you can walk into Michelle's Patisserie, Baker's Delight, pick any offline business you like, and they will not ask for your contact details. The theme parks. On the Gold Coast in Australia, you can walk into any one of the theme parks and they will ask you for your postcode. If you're watching this in America, zip code. What's that going to help you with? Crazy stuff. I'll never forget, because I'm full on with databases and collecting them and then exploiting them. I remember over the years, because we live on the Gold Coast in Australia, so we're near Dreamworld and Movie World and all those sorts of things. When the kids were younger, we'd have to take them, our kids with whoever friends were up from Sydney or Melbourne, to a theme park. And I'd get to the gate with the kids with my $4 million to get in. And the little 17-year-old girl that worked in the ticket box would say, oh, can I just have your postcode? And, smart aleck me would go, well, why do you want my postcode? She goes, well, I just need to write it down or type it in or whatever it was. And I said, but why wouldn't you want my name and my email and my mobile phone number? Because then you'd be able to use them. And postcode, I can't see any value in it. And that's when she said, look, do you mind sort of moving on? Otherwise, I'll have to call security. But all jokes aside, the fact is that if you're not collecting data, then when you come time to sell your business, then you won't have that wonderful asset that you could get a lot of money for. We had a restaurant here on the Gold Coast who was part of my private coaching program. By the way, if you're interested in the private coaching program, we have a couple of spaces at the moment. What happens is that we keep our private coaching program to a certain number. And then when someone comes to the end of their 12 months and they don't renew, some don't, then those spots become available. And that means that we've got a couple at the moment. If you're interested in private coaching, which means I personally become your quasi-marketing manager, then just go to the other link that we've typed above, which is bookawowcall.com. And if you click that, you'll see there's a calendar in there with my availability. And it gives you the opportunity to book a call with me, and we can talk about looking after your marketing of your business. By the way, private coaching program, really it suits businesses that are doing maybe $400,000 or $500,000 in turnover a year or more. Because it's basically, I'm going to put a marketing plan together for your business that will involve you investing in Facebook ads or Instagram or YouTube or brochures or direct mail or whatever it may be. So you need to be an established business, because it's silly to put together a marketing plan for someone who's not doing that sort of turnover, because they can't do much with it. Okay, you need the wherewithal to actually put the stuff together that I'm going to put in my marketing plan for you. That is about $3,500 a month, by the way. But if you multiply that out, by 12 months, and it's pretty easy to do, you'll find that that's considerably less than what you're probably paying your PA. The average PA secretary in Australia gets $54,000 a year. I just checked that through the ABS, the Australian Bureau of Statistics, and you're going to get me for a hell of a lot less than that. And I think I know which one you probably get a better chance of a higher ROI. Sorry, PAs. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, then just click the bookawowcall.com. That should be above me here, bookawowcall.com. Or if you're just interested in typing in the comments below, just put JD interested in private coaching. We'll get back to you. Anyway, back to the database. We had a restaurant on the Gold Coast that, the owner listened to me. They collected a database by simply, let me just show you how simple it was. I'll bring my overhead camera on here and just show you how simple it was. We just put out a little entry form around about the size of an iPhone, and it says win a dinner for 6 at the end of the month, and it asks for their name, email, and phone number. Okay, that's all it did. And you just put in Fred Nurks, email, phone number, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? We collected about 11,000 contact details within just a few months. And then we, over time, segmented them into A, B, C, D. And I'll bring my little overhead camera on again so that I can highlight this to you. A, B, C, D. Okie dokie. I know my alphabet, don't I? And A's were people who spent maybe $100 a week, which meant that they were worth, $5,200 a year. B might be people who spent $75 a week and they were worth whatever it was a year. I've got a calculator with me, I'm sorry. And then this one I'll be able to work out, $50 a week. Well, of course, they were worth half of that, so that was $2,600 a year. This is over a year. And this one here might have been $30, whatever it was. So therefore, by segmenting our 10,000 database into, like Gail, my wife and myself, Gail is my wife and myself. We would go into this particular cafe restaurant a couple of times a week, and each time we'd go in and we'd have coffee and cake or club sandwich or what have you. We might spend $100 a week, okay? So that's a week. And if you multiply that by, say, 50 weeks, we're worth $5,000 a year. Up until when this particular restaurant owner became part of my program, he had no clue who we were. We were in there probably for a year or 18 months earlier, spending that sort of money a week. We're worth $5,000 a year to him, and he had no idea who we were. If someone's worth $5,000 a year to me, we know their blood group and their mother's maiden name. It's just nuts that he was not collecting data. And as you go through this, let me tell you what happened. Is that we collected around about 10,000 contact details over a period of 6 months. And then we remarketed to them. So, that was text messaging or email special offers to them to come in on a Monday or Tuesday night to fill the restaurant when ordinarily it wouldn't have been full. We'd say Chef Pierre has a special lobster tail for 2 meal tonight. It's only, $68, but you need to respond to this text message within 15 minutes. So guess what? We'd fill the restaurant within 10 or 15 minutes because people would respond to that text message and say, yep, I'm coming Monday night, I'm coming. We would fill his restaurant every single night of the week, which meant that the other restaurants around that precinct were scratching their heads. We were screwing with their head because they'd see his restaurant full and have no clue how he did it. Well, I'll tell you how he did it. We basically collected data and then we exploited that data. Really, really simple. So out of the 10,000 who were on his database, we would only send out of an afternoon at 3 o'clock on a Monday, maybe 400 or 500. We'd say, because he had a restaurant that had about 120 seats. So we'd send out 400 or 500 and we'd say, look, Chef Pierre's got this special dinner for 2, lobster tail meal tonight for $68. By the way, no one left for less than $200. Okay, this was a reasonably expensive restaurant, so therefore we got them in on 68, but by the time they bought desserts and a bottle of wine and coffee and all the stuff that goes with it, then of course it was about a $200 per couple bill. But we got them in on the special deal, lobster tail meal for 2, $68. But guess what? He was able to fill his restaurant every single night of the week because he was smart enough to collect the mobile numbers and then text them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'd send out 400 or 500 and say, look, this special deal is on tonight, but you've got to respond within 15 minutes. And if after 15 minutes of his 120 seats, we've only filled 100, well, we just send out another 100 text messages. So therefore, the 10,000 on his list took some time to, each one of those people would only get one of these text messages once every 2 or 3 weeks by the time we went around. So we weren't annoying the whole database every single afternoon with a special meal deal. It's really, really simple, but nobody does it. When I say to people, look, go to Woolworths or Coles or Big W or Kmart today and you'll find that no one cares about who you are. They won't collect your data. I have people say, oh, yeah, but if you're a member of their Flybys program or if you're a member of their VIP club, I understand that, I get it. You've got the people who are really, really keen supporters and they are members of your VIP program, whatever it may be. But there's a whole bunch of people, probably the vast majority, that are not members of that particular program, who you're letting come in and out of your supermarket or your department or discount store without getting any details. It is just nuts. And if you don't get their details, how do you actually then stimulate them to come back and repetitively spend with you and remain loyal? I just can't work it out. So my little rant for today is based on a couple of things. Number one, you need to know how to put together a marketing plan. You need to know the essence of what a good marketing plan should have. And if you want to know that, then just click that little link above, which is wowmanifesto.com. You can watch a 22-minute video from me, which basically goes through showing you all of the components that you need to put in a marketing plan, okay? When it comes to books, I reckon size matters, don't you? I really do think that size matters. And corny dad joke that might be, but this is a big book because it is a big program. And what you want to do is put together all the big nuggets of gold into your marketing plan so that you can sell more stuff. And you've got to make sure that everything is measurable. Let me just roll through the sort of components that you might like to consider when you're putting together a marketing plan. I'm not saying that you need every single one of these, but these are the sorts of things that you should be considering. Number one, identify your most profitable customer and then look for more people who look like him or her. Just makes sense. And yet people are spraying bullets out there sponsoring the Brisbane Broncos or putting ads on the side of buses or the backs of taxis that just drive everywhere all around town. I can never work that one out. Number two, create a wow factor to take their eyes off the price. Okay, so that's a Happy Meal toy. Number three, you need to fix your website. You just have to fix your website because there's every chance in the world that your website has been put together by a bearded hipster. Now, they're evil. I'm joking, please. If you're a bearded hipster, don't throw things at me. But you know what I mean. A lot of these creative people are very good at putting together a pretty website, but whether it's a website that's got direct response components is another thing. You want to make sure that your website homepage is an absolute screamer when it comes to a sales mentality. You don't want, I mean, goodness me, there was a company who has been involved with us for a short while, and maybe they're watching this, but they're a rubbish removal company in Sydney. Lovely young bloke who owns it, but on his website he's got an aerial shot of the Opera House and Sydney Harbour with the Harbour Bridge, and it's got, you know, Sydney's leading rubbish removal business. They come to your house and take away your rubbish. What the hell has an aerial shot of Sydney Harbour got to do with that? And I know that it's because he thought, oh, well, we'll position ourselves as the leading rubbish removal company in Sydney, so we'll show the city of Sydney. No, it would have been, in my mind, a much smarter message to market match if it showed, Mr. Smith at the front door just watching the, removalists in uniform. When I say removalists, the rubbish removalists in uniform with their truck packed up, and you saw them actually taking away the rubbish. In other words, provide them with evidence of what you do. And then a lot of testimonials saying, oh, these guys were quick, they were sharp, they were well dressed, they had aftershave on, and they cleaned up after they actually, got rid of our rubbish. I mean, all those sorts of things, not an aerial shot of the Sydney Harbour. It just made no sense, all right? So therefore, why was that done? It was probably because that website was put together by a creative web designer. And I keep on saying to people who bother to listen to me, they say, well, where do we get our websites done? I said, anywhere. Sorry, not anywhere, but silly. Can I rewind that? Blah, 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 rewind it. Okay. I say to them, do not go to a website designer. And they go, what? I said, no, a website designer more than likely will give you a pretty website. Some not, by the way, but some will give you a pretty website. But whether it sells is very, very, very rare. Okay. Because really, website designers yesterday were graphic artists. So there's very few web designers who come from a left brain thinking point of view. In other words, an operational thinking mindset. Most website designers, excuse me for a minute, whilst I flick the ponytail, I should say, not Tony Pale, because they're creatives and good luck to them. They're fantastic at what they do. But what you need is your website to be designed by someone who is a marketer. Now, on that subject, whilst I'm on it, why not show off and just give you a bit of a feel for what the website should look like, okay? So therefore, if that's your homepage, and by the way, we're talking the homepage here because that's the most important page. Okay, so therefore up here you've got your logo and your name, you've probably got a tagline, you've got to put your phone number up here so when people are coming back they can easily find your phone number. The mistake that a lot of people make is that they actually put their phone number way down here on the base plate. No. If you're having people return to your website and they want to contact you quickly, put your phone number up here, okay? And then you probably have your social media icons here that they can click. So up here, you want a problem, okay, solution, headline. That's what you want. Okay, so if you've got a headache, this Panadol will say, we'll have it gone within 10 minutes. And then what you'd do is that you'd actually have some, a picture of the product, whatever it is there, and you'd have some establishment copy there which supports the headline. And then after that, you'd probably have an explainer video with another big benefit headline there. And that explainer video might have a little voice box or, little, what do you call it, voice oval, or caption oval that actually says, watch this 3-minute video, so they know it's only 3 minutes. And then after that, what you'd probably do is that you'd have a, what I call a Macca's menu board. And that would be, we have a number of services, and here they are, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you happen to be an accountant, that would be tax minimisation, that would be self-managed super, that would be wealth creation, and that'd be something else. So when they come onto your website, they go, oh, look, I'm interested in tax minimisation. I'll click that box, and they'll go through to a page that describes all of that to me. Then after that, what you might do is have a data collection facility. And this data, that's a free report, by the way. So this is a free report, and you'd say free report, okay? And if it happens to be, let's say an accountancy firm, because that's what I was talking about up here, it might be the 3 biggest mistakes that most people make when they set up a self-managed super scheme. Now, if I'm remotely thinking about using this accountancy practice to help me make more money, I think I'm going to download that free report because I'm going to press this little button here. What do you think happens when I actually press that button? I go through to another page which allows me to download that free report, but only on the basis if I give them my, you got it, I'm going to spell it out, DATA, as long as I give them my data. And then here what we might have is the 3 big benefits of dealing with us, whatever that might be. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and they're the big benefits, okay? And then what I might have is video testimonials. Now, please don't take this really quick sketch too literally, but what I'm saying here is that the headline of that section there would probably say, don't take our word for it, look what very satisfied customers, have to say about our products or services. You'd have 3 or 4 of those video testimonials there, and this here would be your base plate. Okay, so can you see if I just come from the top, we've got obviously identification, tagline, we've got our social media icons, we've got our phone number, we've got the problem solution headline. And if it's not a problem solution headline, it might be an establishment headline. So, why are we regarded as Sydney's #1 seafood restaurant? And then you'd have the appropriate imagery around there, and then you'd say why you've been voted #1 seafood restaurant for 3 years in a row. Then you've got your explainer video. That's what I call this, but of course a big benefit headline above that. Then you have your Macca's menu board with obviously a big headline talking all about your services or your products. Then you have a free report to capture their data, and then you have the 3 big benefits of dealing with us. #1, we're fast. #2, we're big. #3, we're cheap, or we're very well priced. And then you'd have your video testimonials. Then you'd have your base plate. Now, the reason I have taken the time to show off a bit and go through all of that is because guess what? You won't get that from 9 out of 10 website designers. What you will get is a beautiful, big, establishment graphic that will have sometimes nothing at all to do with your business. And remember I mentioned before the solar panels, okay? If you happen to be a solar business, it's not about showing people what solar panels look like on a roof. We all know what they look like. It's not exactly pretty. What we want to know, what I think people want to know is the savings that they will make in their power bills if they do have that. So, let me just show you what I would do there. Give me a second. Okay. So instead of, if it was a solar website, having pictures of houses with solar panels on the roof, I would have husband and wife there, maybe boy, girl, if they're in that age group. And it will say here, or not maybe I saved, but we saved. So we saved X $1,000 on electricity bills because of the solar panel. And in the background, there'd be the house with the solar panels on. So you get what I mean? What I'm saying here is that it's the benefit. These people saying we saved X dollars on electricity in just 1 year because we put solar panels on by ABC solar panels. That's the big story. The benefits, not the actual features. The features are the solar panels that are on the roof, but the benefit is the sort of money that they saved by getting those solar panels from XYZ Solar. Guys, that's about it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. And if you did want to put together a marketing plan that makes sense, that's got measurability to it, that shows you how to create a wow factor to take their eyes off the price, shows you how to design a website that sells, shows you how to get free publicity, shows you how to run Facebook Lives like this, how to actually put together webinars, how to put together podcasts, how to put together events, shows you how to deliver Disney-style customer service, because all of these things that I'm ranting about now are in this 21-minute video that you can just click the link above and have a quick squeeze of. And yeah, it's pretty easy watching, okay? And if you're interested to go any further and get involved with us, then you'll see once you watch the video, if you wanted to join our training program of how you can put together a marketing plan, just join the dots, then you can do that. But if you don't, you can watch a 21-minute video and have a shot at doing it yourself. So, you know, if you join, terrific. If you don't, you don't. And if you want any assistance in personal private coaching, whereby I become your quasi-marketing manager, then yeah, just go to the other link, which is bookawowcall.com, and just book a call and we'll have a chat over the next day or two, okay? And yeah, if you've got any comments in terms of does this make sense, then yeah, type them below, would you? Or the other thing that we do offer is a free critique of your website. So after ranting about that website and telling you how I think it should look, if you are a little disappointed in whatever your web design has done with your website, and you'd like me and my team to critique that for you, then simply just type your website in below. Make sure you put the www first, by the way. I know you don't need to put that when you're doing your ads these days because everyone knows that that's what it starts with, but that'll help me just click it automatically and go and have a look at it. So make life easier for me, would you? If you want a critique of your website, just type in the www, whatever it is, and then what we'll do is try and get back to you with a complimentary critique of your website. Why am I doing that? It's called taste testing. If I'm able to just quickly say to you, look, I would do this, that, and the other, then you might think, you know what, that JD environment might be a good one for me to hang around more often. Maybe I could make some more money and attract more clients if I hung around that sort of environment. We are an ideas environment. Okay, I think just in the breadth of whatever number of minutes we've had here on Facebook Live, you can see that there's no shortage when it comes to direct response ideas. So if you're interested in hanging around an environment, then yeah, have a look at that video above via wowmanifesto.com. And if you want to talk to me personally, then bookawowcall.com. That's about it, guys. Again, please, if you've got any friends that have businesses and you feel that this would be of value to them, then share it. And if you liked it and you want to see more of this as we're doing them daily, then yeah, press the like button and we'll provide you with a lot more of this. Over and out. See you next time.